The seas of China contain something like 20,000 different species of marine animal. But from the tiniest microbes to the most ferocious predators, all creatures, great and small, must battle to survive. The ocean is an unpredictable place, and where nothing ever stays the same. Surviving is a test of intelligence and good fortune, as well as strength. In the Xisha Islands, buffeted by tropical marine monsoons all year round, new life is constantly emerging. Sea turtle hatchlings. After 70 hours struggling in the sand, they are now free of shells, able to take their first breaths in the open air. But tiny and delicate as a baby's fist, nature hasn't given these baby turtles much to depend on in the struggle that has just begun. All they have is a soft shell and the instinct to survive. This is China's main sea turtle breeding ground. Every year, more than 10,000 turtles make their debut into the world. Helpless on land, their instinct directs them to the one place where they are relatively safe, the deep blue sea. But to do that, they will have to dodge the grasp of some greedy opportunists, ghost crabs. Reaching the sea takes just a few minutes, the most crucial moments of their entire lives. For many of the hatchlings, these minutes will be their entire lives. Less than 100 meters long, these hatchlings This beach is literally an arena of life and death. The sooner they can reach the waves, the better. But running at full pelt isn't easy when there are so many obstacles in the way. Ghost crabs are ever on the lookout for easy prey. The stench of death hangs over this beach. But for the hatchlings, there's only one choice: conquer their fear and go forward. At last, seawater. But the danger isn't over yet. For many of the sea turtle hatchlings, the first hour of their lives will be their last. If life is a war for survival, this first battle is its fiercest. Finally breaking free from the shackle of the land, dodging the waves, the hatchling makes a dash for the deep. The great journey of life has just begun. But though the fierce opening battle of life is over, danger lurks everywhere. Only a few sea turtle hatchlings will survive long enough to return here and lay eggs of their own on this beach. The danger of the sea is everywhere. For the species depending on it, dealing with its challenges is the task of a lifetime. In the northern part of the Yellow Sea, there's a vast undersea forest, one that nourishes and sustains a rich and diverse community of organisms. In late spring and early summer, as water temperatures rise, nutrients rise out of the depths of the ocean to the surface. Black-tailed gulls are foraging in the vast sea. It's the breeding season. They're in desperate need of food. Their prey is hidden beneath the surface of the sea. The small fish they depend upon are hidden among the rocks. And black-tailed gulls can't dive. They need to wait for help. The yellowtail kingfish, a large predatory fish that inhabits temperate waters and migrates to these waters in early summer. measuring up to 2.5 meters long and weighing as much as 50 kilograms. These fish really live up to their name. But these kings of the sea have a rival, the common dolphinfish. Voracious, fast swimmers, the dolphinfish compete with the kingfish for prey. However, from time to time, the two species are able to form a temporary alliance. Beneath the surface of the sea, something is happening. Lots of small fish are starting to form a shoal, stretching hundreds of meters. The dolphinfish is the first to find its prey. Comprised of a huge number of fish, the movements of the shoal are highly synchronized. But as the yellowtail kingfish close in from below, the moment that the black-tailed gulls have been waiting for arrives. Now there's only one way for the small fish to go: up, out of the water, and straight into the mouths of the black-tailed gulls. The common dolphinfish join the siege. As the encirclement becomes tighter, terrified prey flee. The yellow kingfish launched the attack as well. With an air force above and squadrons of deep-sea killers below, the fish have nowhere to go. Soon the surface of the sea is boiling with terrified fish. For the predators, it's a feast to be enjoyed while it lasts. Hunting bonanzas like these don't come along every day. Thanks to the dolphinfish and the yellowtail kingfish, the black-tailed gulls fill their bellies. The key to surviving life in the ever-changing ocean is seizing every possible opportunity. Sea sparkles glow blue in the waves off Pingtan in coastal Fujian. For many sea creatures, nighttime is the time to hunt and forage. Even beneath the waves, plenty of opportunity lies hidden under the cloak of darkness. In nature, good homes are few and far between. In the ocean, they are especially rare. So some enterprising creatures take matters into their own hands, or claws. For soft-bodied hermit crabs, conch shells are the ideal home. But with conch shells in high demand, finding one that fits is often a challenge. But not for this lucky guy. Finding this shell was no trouble at all. Now to spruce it up and move in. The hermit crabs have armor-plated heads and chests. Their bellies are soft and delicate. Left vulnerable by nature, they have no choice but to use the resources left behind by better-equipped creatures. A new day begins. Moving into a new home is always a cause for celebration. In fact, it's so delighted that it lets its guard down. Better watch out, an intruder is coming. And it's a big guy. What's more, it likes the look of this shiny new shell. In the animal world, if something takes your fancy, go for it. As far as the intruder is concerned, the new home is up for grabs. The greedy guy clutches and doesn't let go. The big guy seizes the chance and grabs its pincer. The big guy slams the shell with all its strength against the other crab. The violent shock wave amplifies in the shell. This mansion now has a new owner. The evicted hermit crab is exposed and vulnerable now. It tries to get close to the old shell, discarded by the big guy. But the winner doesn't want to spare the loser. To avoid death, it must find a new home as soon as possible. But scared out of its wits, it can't fight at all. Dizzy with panic and confusion, all it can do is wait for crumbs from the winner's table. Ultimately, it will have to make do. In the harsh world of nature, it's always best to have somewhere to stay than nowhere. But getting food and shelter aren't the only challenges animals have to confront. In fact, the challenges of day-to-day survival are just a means to an end. Staying alive means staying in the game long enough to face the ultimate challenge: passing on genes. First task, winning the favor of a member of the opposite sex. Early spring in Dagang wetland, Tianjin. A male great crested grebe is on the lookout. In the distance, there's a female. Could she be the one? From her provocative plumage, he can see that she might be in the mood too. Now to convince her that he's the one. Looking each other in the eye, they dance passionately. The male bird is in luck. He's hit the jackpot, favor of a passionate female. But he's not the only one with a twinkle in his eye. Another footloose and fancy-free bachelor is on the prowl. The bachelor tries his luck, rushes at them in an attempt to get between the new couple. If he wants to keep hold of his luck, the male will have to hold his ground. It's essential never to show fear in front of your partner, so he launches a fierce counterattack at the aggressor. The challenge turns into an opportunity instantly. The complete victory strengthens the male's confidence. It's a tricky ritual to perform, standing upright on the water, swinging their heads and moving in time with each other. Yet by remaining focused, they manage to work well together. What a perfect couple. But winning a mate is just the beginning. There's more to come before the future of the next generation is assured. At the bottom of a kelp forest in Shanghai, Liaoning province, a strange-looking fish seems anxious. These sea ravens rarely go out, but today is an exception. It's an expectant mother, the swollen eggs in its body urging it to look for an ideal birthing bed. But now is not a good time. The sea raven usually chooses to lay its eggs in crevices in mussel beds. But right now, the mussels on the reefs are mostly above the waterline. The current makes it difficult to find a place. In order to hatch, the eggs need the right temperature and enough oxygen. An important factor is the size of the crevices between the mussels. Too big, and the eggs will be swept away by the current. Too small, and it might not be able to hold all the eggs. The mother-to-be is demanding. She won't compromise. Another sea raven, however, has found her spot and is in position, waiting to lay her eggs. There's not a second to waste. The other female rushes at her, determined to grab her place while she's vulnerable. But she won't quit the birthing bed easily. But in the end, she cannot bear the harassment and leaves the birthing bed. Now the winning mother-to-be can't wait to climb onto the birthing bed and prop itself up with two fins. A sea raven lays more than 60,000 eggs at a time. A few of them will survive. In fact, finding a safe hatching ground is the only thing the sea ravens do to give their offspring a head start in life. But other fish are model parents compared to the sea ravens. Take the fat greeling, for example. This father keeps a watchful eye over the eggs until they all hatch. They might not look like it, but starfish are in fact ferocious predators. With their flexible bodies, they're able to keep a tight hold on their prey until it's subdued and completely digested. In fact, places where starfish pass are often completely devastated. So, with the starfish crawling towards the eggs, no wonder the fat greeling is agitated. The intruder needs to know who's boss around here. But the starfish keep coming. It's better to get them out of sight. However, there's more trouble on the way. Big trouble. Completely covered in needle-sharp spines, sea urchins are almost invulnerable. The fat greenling can't find a place to bite. At its wit's end, only the instinct to protect his offspring drives him to keep holding on. But it's impossible for parents to take care of their children all their lives. Many animals have to take care of themselves entirely from the moment they are born. dangerous animal lives in the border between land and sea in Guangdong. It's a Chinese cobra. This little snake is not yet fully grown. Cobras are usually black, but this one is pale, almost sandy colored. A heavy rain comes unexpectedly. The cobra gets precious fresh water. But the cold rain also sends an ominous signal. Cold weather is on its way. If it's to survive, it must quickly find a warm place to hide. The cobra smells something. It looks like a mouse. It's in fact a common shrew. Shrews have very bad eyesight. They rely on their keen sense of smell to warn them of approaching danger. A shrew's dry, warm nest, an excellent place to hole up for the winter. With the cobra in hot pursuit, the shrew is running out of options. The cobra, with its fearsome teeth and venom, clearly has the upper hand. A deadly strike. Or so it seems. But the shrew didn't die. They might look like mice, but shrews are in fact voracious predators. With their rapid metabolism, they can consume 3 times their body weight in food every day. Little does the young snake know it, but if he's not careful, the hunter could become the hunted. What's more, the tiny shrew has something in common with the cobra, a venomous bite. The cobra decided to back off. Nothing good will come from this standoff. Best for the cobra to make a getaway before it becomes a shrew's dinner. The beach is bathed in the dying rays of the sun. If it can't find a place to hibernate, it will have great difficulty getting through the winter. In a world of limited resources and space, strength and experience count for a lot. Juvenile animals face an uphill struggle against their adult counterparts. Migration season, birds sense the changes in temperature and fly to their wintering grounds. Jinzhou Bay, Dalian, an important stopping point for birds making their way south for winter. A young white-tailed eagle arrives. It has come all the way from faraway Siberia. After a long flight of more than 5,000 kilometers, it's tired and hungry. But when the sea is covered in ice and snow, pickings here are slim in the extreme. To make matters worse, this is an immature bird. Strong seagulls are hard to catch, even for experienced hunters, but its empty stomach urges it on. With a wingspan of up to 2 meters, the white-tailed eagle is a king of the sky. Flustered, the gulls are forced to take off again and again. With thousands of gulls on the wing at the same time, it's hard for the white-tailed eagle to pick out a prey. Finally, he finds a lone gull. He doesn't succeed. The best way to hunt is in pairs. Hunting alone, the immature bird's strike rate is bound to be low. A heavy snow brings the temperature down to minus 20 degrees Celsius. More white-tailed eagles come here to try their luck. Apex hunters don't like to live in groups, but coastal habitats have been shrinking over the years. They have no choice but to get closer and closer to human habitation. Stimulated by the prospect of food, the hungry sea eagles become restless. The king of the sky likes the straightforward approach. Force is often the best way to get what they want. But the sea eagle, who just lost the prey, is unwilling to let go. Now the ground battle becomes an aerial one. But they're not the only ones suffering from hunger pangs. The third eagle joins the fray. In the melee, the prey gets free and falls down from the sky. The sea eagle swoops down fast. The lost prey is reclaimed. In the long winter, there's no such thing as an easy meal. Increased human exploitation of natural resources presents one of the most serious problems for living creatures. With new challenges emerging all the time, animals must adapt in order to survive. The South China Sea is the most important tropical ecosystem in China, home to an amazing array of sea creatures. A female green sea turtle is on her way home. Green sea turtles don't produce offspring until they reach their 20s. It's one of nature's miracles. Through thousands of kilometers of open ocean, sea turtles are drawn to the beaches where they hatched. It's also one of nature's great mysteries. Nobody quite knows how it is that they precisely locate and guide themselves back to the beaches where they were born. This is the largest archipelago in the South China Sea, the Xisha Islands. It's one of the main breeding grounds for green sea turtles in Chinese waters. Late at night, female sea turtle climbs onto the beach. Timid and shy, sea turtles lay their eggs only on beaches where they won't be disturbed. As species, sea turtles stick to the breeding grounds they've chosen. They don't easily opt for alternative beaches to lay their eggs. The sea turtle struggles to push away the sand. A good birthing bed is composed of fine, easy-to-dig sand without too much gravel or hard material. Sea turtle eggs are the size of ping pong balls. In each breeding season, the females come ashore about 4 times and lay hundreds of eggs. Competition in nature is fierce. Every species is ultimately fighting the same battle to live long enough to breed and continue the species. It's a struggle they throw themselves into with all their might, one that results in some of the greatest spectacles on Earth. This is our ocean. Beautiful and fragile. It's a constant reminder of the complex, eons-old processes that have made this world what it is, and which will shape its future. A world of wonder, a treasure trove of riches. It's up to all humankind to maintain this blue paradise in splendor and vitality.